segment, we talked pass defense. What about rush defense this segment? Really good last year, but they do have some players we discussed in the last segment that have to be replaced.
Right.
You also have Rodney Garner coaching guys that will then take that next step. A Jackson Moy with the chance to play at a higher level, play more snaps this upcoming season. So, same focus, 1 to 10 scale. Where are we, Will, on the end there? 1 to 10 scale on Tennessee's rush defense this year.
I'm going to be lower than everyone else. I'm going to say a 6. I think you needed that depth at defensive tackle. I love the linebackers. I love the pieces in place, but I wonder for a team the last 3 years that's relied on depth at defensive tackle, and I don't know where the depth's going to come from at DT right now, I think it will be good. I think it will not be elite like it has been at times the last couple of seasons.
I'm a little bit higher. I'm at an 8. And Rodney Garner figuring things out, figuring out his personnel, motivating his personnel. Maybe we haven't seen these guys enough snaps. The player development that you get with Rodney Garner. And I think they have position versatility. I mean, some of those guys, like Tyree West, who plays in the end, he's a guy you can slide inside also in some downs. So I do think Jackson Moy is the answer to the question of who replaces Omar Norman-Lott. You mentioned him coming in as well. So I think they have enough pieces. Maybe they don't go as deep, but you still have big physical guys that defend the run typically really well. And I do think you'll get enough player development with those other guys that you can rotate enough and not have a huge drop-off.
Well, and, John Pennington, we had this question on the Sports Source Digital channel that's doing so well. And
Free on
Tyler
YouTube,
Ivins,
go check it out.
and Tyler Ivins, and I looked at these numbers, and the rushing numbers allowed by Tennessee the past 3 years are like just north or south, 3 yards carry. So that's pretty good, and it's been stable. I don't think that's going to change a whole lot. One question I wondered, Tennessee's offense, you're going to be tempo or you're not tempo? If you're running tempo and you're going 3 and out, are you sending your defense back out there again more often? And if you don't have quite as much depth, especially up front, like Will was saying, that could be. But I think this is the strength of Tennessee's defense. I think stopping the run, tackles for loss. How many times have we heard that? I have an 8.
An 8, okay.
Could I be wrong, though, too, that maybe subtraction by addition to James Pierce isn't an edge? What he brought to you in the past game, he was a liability in the run because he clearly just – it was not an area of importance for him. I mean, he just didn't do a great job setting an edge. So I do wonder, are you going to be a little bit better against those outside zone plays because James Pierce isn't there?
Well, Joshua Joseph's actually, his really good Pro Football Focus grading was more against the run. He doesn't have big sack totals. That's the area that he needs to make the jump. But he was very good in those runs. So that's probably why he got just as many snaps, or a lot of them, in that situation. One last thing, in this rush defense, part of that deal is the linebackers.
Yes, Arion Carter coming back, dealt with off-season surgery, so didn't go through spring, but very important third year for him. Yeah. T-Lander's back for another year. A second-year guy like Edwin Spillman, what kind of jump does he make is a big deal.
Spillman is like T-Lander and Carter, where they're just like Sikkim. They hit the gap, they see something, and then they go after it. But then teams misdirection them, especially late in the year, get out of your gap, and then suddenly you got explosive run plays or play action out of it. So they got to be better in that area. Love the physicality and the athleticism, but they got to be better in being able to stay in their gaps in the right positions and then be there for tackles when those opportunities present themselves.
Okay, so Will's a 6.
Reluctantly, I think he could almost change it if I was reading what he was saying.
Yeah, it could. But my concern is everything, the lack of depth. Okay. Plus, if you go tempo again, I think you might be in trouble.
All right.
Okay, Vince and Chuck are 8s.
8, yes. Strength of the defense to me.
And I'm a cop-out. I'm a 7. So we got it figured out for now as the summer months approach.